All right, we are now live again on the Jano podcast. Welcome one, welcome all. It has been a while. This is now season two, and there is nobody here. Love to see it. Jano.
We
Um,
know who for blame for that still.
yeah. So, in
Outcome
regards
traffic
to
bomba.
the topic for tonight, is going to be circulated around this viral tweet by such guy who can't really call him name. I don't really want to call him name.
Me a call name. Yeah, yo, man, chill. Me a bill.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yo, I see Nicki
But,
Minaj
but
flow
you
up there,
can
boy. I
call
want
him
you
because
to
it's not
bless
a
her out
lie.
there.
Just read the tweet. You can call him.
yeah, yeah, it's
Oh,
The
Mr.
I'm not
Issa.
recently deleted
Recently
tweet.
deleted
yeah,
tweet
the
by Mr.
recently
Issa.
deleted tweets. So if Jamaicans worked as hard as they do when they go overseas, while they were in Jamaica, they would need to go overseas.
So, boy, they couldn't just put it on the jumbotron.
So
Excuse
basically, the
me.
man just avoid all concept of economics.
Anyways, yeah. So let's take this into perspective first and foremost. Um, I think all of us have actually been employed before, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. And I think only a few of us have actually been employed overseas and at home. I
Mm-hmm.
would say that is probably Mike, you never work overseas.
Who? Me?
Yeah, you ever work overseas?
Oh, yeah, man, but not on the J1 program, isn't it?
No, that's like in general, I mean, like in
In
general.
general. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, man.
Man, embassy area.
Yo.
Alright, cool. Who else? I think testicles. Testicles. You've worked overseas?
Yeah, I have. Currently am.
Oh, you're currently now working overseas.
Yeah.
You man, the
And
green
you've
card.
worked in
Straight Jamaica.
Jamaica before as well, yeah?
Yes, I have, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's
Oh
crazy.
wow.
Alright, let's start with you then. Why you say unfortunately?
Jono, cause like your work for little to nothing, bro. Like I've only had call center experience, cause those, which is an issue, cause those are the only available jobs, right? Well, they aren't, but is it nepotism when you have to like have links, or is that a family member?
Oh,
Alright, just
let's
chop the
just
Any
line, isn't it?
yeah, let's
Yeah,
have
any other
links
job,
basically.
you have to have links, right? Any good job, especially out of college or university. So I've worked at call centers, and at the time I was working for like $400 an hour, which is like $2 an hour, which is
That
insane.
is
It's
crazy.
absolutely insane. So yeah, that's just an example of how
And
shitty the pay
what
is.
was the condition like in the actual working
Oh
environment that
my
you're going
days,
through?
don't get me started. Well, the managers were quite childish, but um, I don't know. For me, I don't know if my love complain, but the seats were uncomfortable. You were spaced so closely together with everybody. We had a few COVID outbreaks. The lighting was so harsh. You get migraines every day on top of like staring at computer screens. Yeah, you're bound to get a migraine. And wearing like headsets over your head that compress your brain. Um, so you're always in pain. And you were only allowed certain times like for lunch break and stuff like that. And it was very strict. Like it was like slavery. Like you weren't allowed to bring your phones, which I guess is fine, but you weren't allowed to have anything on the floors. um yeah, it was wild.
Oh, so it
Like
was just
I
like really restricting and
very,
okay.
yeah.
All right,
Wait,
and
which
how do
call
you
center
compare
that
that?
exactly?
Which call center is that?
Oi,
Really,
oi, oi,
really want
oi.
me to call
Oi,
names?
oi, 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 oi.
Oh,
Nobody
we
will know.
now call a call center again.
Well,
Nobody
you
will.
still, it depends. You still
Yo,
work
I
there?
wire that.
yo.
No, I don't. I mean, never
Yeah,
signed
it
no
no matter then.
contract, so
If you call it by a weird name.
yeah, but thought the things them. All right,
Yeah,
so
some
yeah.
close.
Well,
Some
I've
close to
worked
it,
at
isn't it?
three. I worked at three call
Yeah, call
centers.
the name of the worst one.
Libex.
Ooh, damn. No, no. I've heard some things. I've
Alcor?
heard some things. I think that's the worst one. Alarica is the absolute worst. I've heard some things about that too. I hear people like getting $200 an hour,
$200
which
an
is
hour.
just
That's
stupid.
$1
Like
and a couple cents.
exactly, like just
Jeff
leave.
and Paul, brother, yo, in bowl.
Okay,
But
so
the worst one for me was BXI, and I think that was
Yo,
just because of
whoa,
my
whoa,
manager,
whoa, 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 whoa.
cause she, if y'all listen to this, what's your name again? If I knew your name, I would call it. But if y'all listen to this, okay, mother, because
Oh wow.
all she would do is she would waste her time because she had friends, right?
Mm-mm.
Which first of all, are conflict of interest. You're not really supposed to be friends with your employee.
yeah.
Hold on. I mean, we can be friends outside of work.
I
think
mean,
she-
On the type of person you
yeah, I
are.
think she cut out still. But alright, so moving on from that then. Let's say let's compare things because Mr. Chap wanted to compare economics now. So speaking firstly in regards to the actual wage rates between here, Jamaica, and then now abroad. The lowest paid state, the lowest income, I think is like $7 something. I don't remember the name of the state, but I think $7 is the lowest in
It's not
terms
even necessarily to compare wages. It's for. I mean, I think it's better we start the argument with cost of living.
cost of living. Oh yeah, that
All
is
right,
good.
good. Hold on. So, with the cost of living, what me I say now? All right, yeah, we're there Jamaica, dog, and we not receive as much as we should. You see me compared to what is on the market in terms of rent and purchasing a house and getting land. It's very expensive.
Oh,
The
sorry, my
government
Wi-Fi
the
just do
government
me
that offer
dirty.
to the public is not even enough to cover the cost. To get them stuff there. You see it. So
Brother, yo, you ever try rent
even though we're
somewhere?
going to the US and we see, a better standard of living, it's still relative to the country we're in. Because if you come
We're
back
not
to
like it's not
Jamaica, things
even
are
about the cost of living in terms of housing. Do you know how hard it is to buy food in this bitch? Like
Yo,
the
brother.
money you're working, the fact that
Hungry,
somebody can be working $2 an
hungry,
hour and that can buy a patty dog and that can barely buy a bun. Are you insane?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
well,
Dog.
I don't really know what she had talked me about.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, no.
attack you
It's
then.
not an attack. It is a compare the actual food prices. Cause me I
It's
say,
like
yo, no, continue for it.
like to go to housing is a bit of a jump because I know everybody are like still I live with the parents or whatever, but like on a very basic level, just food prices alone
Yeah,
are
Yeah.
she's right.
completely different. Like admit like we don't ever have to reach housing because even if you leave Jamaica and go to the States, you're probably not pre to get a house like right now anyway. But like you need food to survive. A loaf of bread is like at this point 6 bills or something like that.
6 bills.
Yeah, man, about 6 or 5 bills, man.
Yeah,
6 bills
at
for
Yeah,
this
bread.
point.
Six
Versus
bills.
in the States, you
500
could have
and
probably
some
get.
change. So call
But
it
whenever they
6 bills.
does say, yo, me I exclude food and all of that.
I wasn't saying you're excluding food, but I'm saying to start even talking about rent or housing market. Granted, obviously it fuck up either way, and it's fucked up in the States too. But like at a very basic level, it's food that's
Yeah, I
you
think
can't
she was
buy
just
food.
adding to the point. But she makes a good point though, because not everybody can even think about housing. The first thing you think about, oh, me I go feed myself.
Family. Yo, may I tell you say one day when I come back a yard and we're going to the supermarket with about 5 grand. I know what I come out with. We come out with a loaf of bread, 2 juice, and a meat. And I say, bro, ain't no way all this come to 5 grand. And I tell you, say, yo, you breed and 10 grand just gone.
Real.
Facts.
Like,
Like the
fam,
difference with spending $100 in the States for groceries and spending like 10 grand down here, it don't make no like it's completely different.
but what I will say though, in regards to the food thing, I think we have a lot better quality food. Because more while when I went to the supermarkets up in the States, I was buying like food that was close to the expiry date. And it was
Yeah.
it wasn't the best quality. Like the bread it tastes like crackers. if you feel me.
Crackers.
And the
How
milk
is our
it tastes
birthdays
like iron
crackers?
juice. That's what I'm saying. The thing it kind of really selective still, but the point is like food is really cheap and accessible. That's the point
Yeah,
in comparison to right here now. So
that's true.
in regards to now
Mm.
comparing your actual workload for let's put Mr. Zero and 14 on the mic. Mr. Zero and 14, are you here?
Hello, hello.
Yes, alright, so cool. You've worked both in Jamaica and abroad, yes?
I think so.
God damn, I hate this man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alright, cool. So in regards to the actual workload now and the motivation factor, the motivation to actually work, what would you say put you through the most challenges, working at home or abroad? And give some reasoning as to why now.
Repeat the question.
Yeah, so in regards to the workload, you're comparing the workload between working in Jamaica versus working abroad. That's the first part of the question.
Oh, workload. That's quite the question. Workload. Well, the few jobs I've done in Jamaica, I never really did much. So I never really earned much. The most I've worked is abroad. So, but I would say that the workload abroad is much heavier.
All right, would you like to describe your working life that was abroad?
I was,
You don't
I
have
was,
to go into a lot of details if you don't want to, but yeah, man,
oh,
just yeah.
you see it. Oh, well, I was a lifeguard mostly, doing nothing but sitting and watching people swim. So that wasn't really that bad, but I made most of my money from that. And then at nights, I would shut my brain off and be a slave.
Facts.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? Give me some
Or
more
such
details on the part.
something.
I worked my second job at a company where I loaded trailers for 5 hours a night. So I had to shut my brain off and just be enslaved.
Okay, cool. But would you say, like, in regards to the actual wage rate, was it worth it? Did you actually?
No,
You don't think it was worth it?
I
no,
know.
I don't think. Well, the lifeguard was worth it, but I don't think the trailer loading was worth what I was getting.
Do you mind saying like
How
what the
much were you
How much
minimum
did you
usually
wage
get
pay like
paid
for
was
for
this
trailer
role?
in
load?
that country?
The minimum wage is 12.50, but my
No, you mean
slave
the
job.
state. You mean the state.
Yeah, no, but my slave job was paying me $15 to $16.50. I think I deserved $100 an hour.
Yo, be realistic.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand that still.
No,
So
me know say it's
yeah,
a
what's the
joke, but
moves?
me just want to say you stink, brother. What I mean by deserve $100? Mate, you know how much me work at me idiot call center right now?
Because
Brother,
you're a fool.
Ooh.
as
No, it's
true
because
as that might be, still, call center right now in Jamaica at best pay like what? $3 hour? I say
yeah,
fuck. Mm,
it is.
phew,
It's
it's a
disgusting.
big disgrace.
But all right, now look at
Hor-
this. I see this comment by Jordan Kerr. Zane, she says, I literally just went to work overseas and did a front desk job. I was getting more than my mom in 2 weeks than she gets in a month.
Mhm.
So that's comparing the outcome of working abroad. So
But
yeah,
it's also
looking
remember
back
that they
on
also the whole exchange rate thing. So like comparatively, I'm not like like
if you're adding the exchange rate, that's going to make it even worse. Cause like the dollar is at what right now, like 150, right?
150 something, I
Yeah,
think.
cool. So let's say, all right, let's use the call center example.
Which
The
is
call
no, as
center.
in that's why I was saying that to say it would obviously be a reason why the comment, I don't know who said it, why they would be making more than their mother in like 2 weeks because the exchange rate thing factors in.
Oh
I see
yeah,
what you mean, yeah.
yeah, I see what you mean for real. But either way, I think if you compare it to like most countries, because you have to look at it from like a third world perspective. We're not,
Right.
yeah. So
I was just about to say.
yeah, you can't really compare the overall, economy of Jamaica to abroad because overall it's just, their standard of living, their standard of living is what I'd say is mid or like decent at best because
Exactly.
most people are off the streets, or even if you're on the street, you have some type of government support. The most of the people that are on the street are there because of their own faults. Whereas in Jamaica, most of the people in the inner city areas that are out of jobs and doing what they're doing in crime and violence, it's because of the government neglect. There's not much
And their
funding coming in. There's
choice.
not jobs. Yeah, by
There's
choice, of course.
accountability, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but
Me disagree with that. Me wouldn't say most of the people in Jamaica were out on the streets are because of government neglect. It's pretty much the same thing. Even if you're not gonna get some cushy government provided job, you still have things where you can do for make money in a Jamaica. Where people just choose
Yeah,
not to do. Them rather just sit down and smoke weed all day.
I don't
yeah,
think so. In terms of like crime, we have to factor in the fact say, oh, these niggas making bank just like getting being ordered to kill somebody more money than they
yeah.
would at a regular job, and to like
Ah,
more
It's
money to
also
sell
the
a gun and
opportunities for them to make money in a
exactly.
decent way aren't even here, to be real. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
do
yeah,
you?
there are opportunities and there are some people that say, you know what, fuck that, I'm just not gonna work. I'm
Yeah.
going to wait for
Do
somebody
you
to give
guys
me
remember that
something.
video that went viral? There was a young man, and some people they actually help him out in at the end. But he made a video crying on the video. A Jamaican young man
me
saying, "Yo, if more want do the right
Delano.
thing, more want do the right thing, but like it hard, ray, and him a cry and I say him a mates for go do crime because that him just not go on for him." And a few it went viral, and a few people reached out to him, and he got a job. I think it was a call center job too, which whatever, but yeah, so that's and think about the fact that he's crying in that video. We have to factor in the mental um effect that poverty has on these youths. Like, it's again, it's no excuse, but it is a reason, and it factors in with the reason why they would rather be smoking weed, selling gun, because that's how they cope with the reality of being poor in Jamaica.
Martha
damn, that's a
disagree.
lot to
No,
swallow.
no, Martha disagree. I think is a huge excuse. I don't think
Yikes.
I don't think anybody really in a Jamaica truly have to turn to crime. If you turn to crime, it's because you want to turn to crime. Again, if you claim say you're poor and you struggle, maybe it's a case where you're just really greedy and you decide say you deserve more than what you're actually worth. So you decide say you just like take it from other people.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Maybe
hold
I
on,
go
hold on. What do
maybe
you
I
mean?
go
Whoa,
kill, maybe I
whoa,
go scam, who knows where I go
whoa.
do. But in general, must say most of it for them fall to whoever them decide to go.
No, but all right, let's put it into perspective, Moons. Let's say, because I remember seeing upon the news like just recently, there was statistics showing that 40%, 47% of Jamaican households are run by like a single parent, and with that single parent, you have to put in the context, say,
Typically the
they're
mother.
feeding what?
It's typically the mother.
Yeah, typically the mother. And you have to take into to factor that they're feeding themselves, they're feeding their child, they're sending their child to school, and they're paying all the bills for that house, no matter what
Yeah,
type of living
all
situation
on
they're
less
in.
than $400 an hour, by the way.
Yeah,
Because minimum
exactly.
wage is
So
actually 250, 270.
yeah, what
Somebody
is
don't quote me on that.
yeah, I'm not
That's
sure,
the
but it's
thing.
really
It's
low.
just
It's dirt
it's
shit.
Minimum wage is $1,000 a week, guys. That's
Whoa, 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 whoa,
ridiculous.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
what?
Yes,
whoa,
it
whoa.
No,
is.
That is whoa. Where are you?
Isn't it?
What?
no.
No, minimum wage
Minimum
is
wage
like twelve
where
thousand.
Well, I
it
live
was
in St. Thomas.
9
That's
last
what a
time
lot
I
of
heard.
people are making
No, wasn't it
in
nine and
like
then
in like
raised to
country
12?
suburb.
Minimum wage.
It's 9 grand.
Well,
I
for
just know that in
$9 grand?
Jamaican
June it was
minimum,
nine
Oh,
that a
grand. I don't know if
Jamaican
it's gone
minimum.
up.
It used to be like 6, 7 grand, but
It
them
raised
raised it
to
to nine
9
grand.
in June. I don't know if it
yeah,
raised
9 grand.
again.
And you get paid a fortnight. So technically, that
No, it's 9 grand per week.
oh my bad. I meant to say $1,000 a day. That's what I meant to say, not a
Oh,
week. My bad. My bad.
I
okay.
mean, the thing is, I can see Tess and Moon's argument, but it's like
But
part of it
yo,
is it's just it's not a livable wage. Like I'm no, in all honesty, no matter like worse if you have picnic, why the fuck are you working for like 4 bills an hour when you have children to feed, yourself to feed, bills to pay? I feel like if people were being paid a livable wage, not all of them would turn to crime. Granted, they still probably will. It's just not going to
Yeah,
be all of them
facts.
or as
I
many
Wait,
think
of
Mikey
them.
was gonna say something.
let me put him on
Yeah,
pot.
man, mega
Yeah.
share a video, you know.
All
I
right.
was
Cool.
in this video by Witty. So hold on, then just screen, the share screen thing at work, you know.
All right. While you're putting up the screen, I'm gonna just bring it back to the main point. In regards to working harder, when he says working harder, a
You
yard
can see
in
the screen.
oh it's slow. Oh yeah. All right. Play the video.
I'll play the video, isn't me?
So there's a discussion raging online now that some Jamaicans are lazy and not hardworking enough, and that if they were to ever put in the effort in Jamaica that they do when they go, like they migrate elsewhere, just how wonderful life would be for them. Let me just say this: it is very difficult for you to survive in Jamaica if you are not hardworking. And what people describe as lazy, I think, of course, in life, in every sphere, you'll always have people who you may say are lazy. But you see, when it comes to Jamaica, and you talk about people who have fatigue, lethargy, low energy, have difficulty concentrating, can't finish tasks, those are also symptoms of depression. And it is understandable. Many people are not lazy, they are actually showing up depressed. It is hard for you to maintain this high energy and to be so positive in a country with such high levels of crime and violence, where it is so difficult for people to get justice, where they cannot even survive, many people, because they're not earning livable wages, where many people don't see a way out because, in terms of education, opportunities, even if you were to get basic health care, medical care, it is a struggle. So a lot of people aren't lazy, pumpkin. They are depressed.
Absolute
You're depressed.
facts.
But man, that's
Absolute
chest.
facts, bro.
Realest way.
I think that's literally what I just said, but she said it better. Cause home for happy and my broke dog. Home for happy and my broke.
Yo, I honestly feel like the minimum people should be earning is at least 120,000 Jamaican dollars a month, bro. That's just me still.
I mean, honestly, that's
I
very
think
fair.
100K would do a month.
Yeah,
That's
even
just
Yeah.
to
100.
survive.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
to survive as a
Yeah.
base pay, yeah, I think that would actually be good in context. But what I wanted to do is go back to the actual tweet and make a comparison now. So let's say, yeah, we're working in the call center job because that's the most popular job out here, right? In regards to, our youth. Let's put that
Yeah,
in the
in
perspective.
regards to like accessibility, job accessibility.
Yeah.
That's like
Are
the
you
yeah.
being are you talking about in the context of being a young person working in
No,
a call
as in
center?
like, yeah. Let's put it in the context for that right now, for the time being. Zane, so he's saying that if we worked harder or just as hard as we do abroad, then Jamaica would be better off. But what how would working harder in a call center really push anything in regards to
Yo,
Oh my
nation
days.
development
yo,
or
me even
anything
want to
for
bring up
four
something.
bills?
Me even want to bring up something. You're lucky if you ever get four bills. Well, they can raise it now, so more than likely I get 4 bills now. But me want to raise up something in regards to this, right? Because I've been in the call center space before. And, a lot of these clients that they have at these BPOs, like,
Them a box you all
collaborating.
of that.
Hold on, I'm talking, man. We already know, we already know. All right, we know. But other these clients don't even know how much, we're getting paid. A lot of them don't know. So that's why they're always like, yo, when you're going to meeting with the clients, I'm going to bring up how much. And a lot of these clients are willing to pay these these employees at least $100,000 a month. But
I disagree, but I'm gonna let you finish.
no, you have some of them that are willing to. But let me tell you, like the managers are them mostly are pocket the money them.
Mhm.
And like them give it out as like incentives. to like one and two agent, but that's my two piece still.
That's a good point because I've never actually considered that. Like the supervisors are as we call them TLs, team leads. They make a considerable larger amount
No, trust
than
me, the
regular
managers
agents.
make more. The managers make more.
They do, but I disagree in regards to like the clients not knowing. I think they do because the fact that you have the same call center, for example, you have a call center working for Amazon in Jamaica and another
Mm.
one in the Philippines doing the same exact job. Why is the pay so greatly different, even when you consider the exchange rate? Why? I
Is
don't
it
think that's
really?
by not maybe I shouldn't use the Philippines as an example, but even in the US, right? It's considerably more.
If we're being honest, it's because they know
Well,
that the US is a quote unquote a first world country, so
Exactly.
they can't get
This is
away with a lot
why
of that.
why you think we have so much call centers in Jamaica. They are purposely choosing third world countries to make call
Yeah,
centers in because they know they can pay us less.
agreed.
They know. So
like
I don't agree with that. I think
like
they
it's not
absolutely
the
know.
clients in charge of like really your paycheck, or the BPO itself or employer in charge of your paycheck. So them have control of how much money you're getting paid. So most of the times, not to say the clients don't know, but some of them aren't aware.
Wait, so
Eh,
okay. I mean, either way, like it's common business practice. You
Hmm.
would go to where
true.
you get more labor for less the cost. That's how slavery worked. That's literally how slavery
You get what I
worked.
mean?
Yeah, but either way, knowing or not knowing, going back to the entire point, this is the reason why so many Jamaicans are abroad. I currently believe that you have more than likely more Jamaicans abroad than in Jamaica right now. More than likely from the actual numbers coming up. You would
Yeah,
find,
definitely.
yeah. So even looking at the whole teacher crisis, what they go on, what they, you had like hundreds of teachers leaving the country to go work in America, Canada, England, all over the place, and it goes back to the same root of the problem, the pay rate. So working harder would not change the pay rate
Not
because
even
it's
shit.
just, yeah, it's just what's going to, it's just the reality of the situation. They're not paying anymore. The government isn't paying anymore, and the private organizations, they would pay more on like a overall scale because they're private, not government. But either way, the whole standard of living, it makes the pay rate pretty much shit. Like if you really compare it, if you look at it.
So as
So
far as me see it, like if I go approach this in a political sense, dog, the government just fuck up, dog. Like the man them come more than find the money for pay the teacher them, for pay the doctor them. Them come more than do it.
Yep.
But
Real,
it's not in their best interest to do any of that shit.
Yeah.
real.
I mean, if we talk about them now, we can probably talk about the thing what happened, what it caused the next big Twitter
Um,
uproar.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
the
whole
sign. You
Yeah,
want to
then
talk
the
about the
girl
sign?
sign. Yeah,
wait,
then the
hold
Well,
girl
me and
sign.
on.
girls on the side, you know, man.
Before that, back to the original tweet.
Yeah.
In comparing working harder, whether or not you work harder in the States versus in Jamaica. Sorry, in Jamaica, 9 times out of 10, for example, like being specific to like, oh, a single family household with there's the mother and she have like, for example, 2, 3 picnic. That lady is more than likely going to have to work like 2, 3 jobs at least to make sure that everything work out fine. She can pay her bills, send the 3 picnic them go school, blah blah rah. Versus in the States, you literally can do like maybe 1, 2 jobs at most, and you can still afford to send your children comfortably to live somewhere. Granted, it depends on, I think the whole work harder thing depends on like the industry or whatever, because there are certain fields you wouldn't be working any harder or you wouldn't be working any less or whatever. um but it's like a lot of times in Jamaica you tend to have to, well, there's also, I remember because this argument comes up all the time on Twitter, to be honest. A couple, like the last time it came up, someone also pointed out that, oh, in Jamaica, people don't necessarily have to slave away as much as in the States. So, like, we have more holidays, or we tend to have weekends off,
That's
depending
not
on the
true.
job. Depending on the job, Like we get to sell it unless you're like, for example, in like fast food or some other service industry. A lot more people in Jamaica tend to enjoy weekends off and like, oh, generally like more national holidays or whatever. So the work to life balance is different. That's what I remember seeing a couple months ago or something.
Oh, wait, can you give me more context on that so we can better understand that?
What do you mean?
In regards to the whole, the background as to where they're coming from with the argument. So you're saying that we have more holidays, but
As
how does
in
that
the
really?
quality of the, not the quality of life, but like when you're granted, like a lot of things changed since that argument because now people really are working two, three, four, five jobs. But at the time, someone had said, "Oh, in Jamaica, even if they are working the same amount, like for example, the same amount of jobs, so even if you're working two jobs and you still have to put in like another 5 hours overtime on top of your 9 to 5." At least in Jamaica, we might have weekends off versus in the States, them still are work through the weekend, or we still have like a one national holiday, like, oh, a Heroes Day come up, so you can at least look forward to that. Versus in the States, they have, I I generally think they do have less holidays than we do.
Oh, that's by choice though. If a person decides to work on a holiday and on weekends, right?
Yeah, I think so
No, it
because
Yeah.
depends
like,
on the industry.
True, but even then you're
yeah,
scheduled, so you'd still have days off that would be considered your weekend.
yeah. Well, I think in regards to the state now, the states, you have a lot more flexibility in taking time off, and you have way more benefits with your
That's
jobs.
Facts.
true. Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
I'm in Canada, so it might be different. But here, even working on holidays, you get paid more, like time and a half, I think.
You're supposed to.
And I would argue that there are more holidays over here than in Jamaica. Cause even though like tomorrow is a holiday to mourn the queen or some shit, which I don't
Oh
understand.
wait, y'all get a holiday for that? We don't have a holiday for that.
Yeah, there's fully a holiday now.
Yeah,
Really,
we
that's
do,
crazy.
or supposed to, quote unquote, supposed
No, we
to.
don't. No, like we're not supposed to at all.
No,
Like,
as in because such member of such, yes, such smaddy.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Lion, can you hear me?
Apparently there was a lot of pushback. Everybody was saying, "Oh, why we don't get a holiday to everybody else? I get holiday." So apparently something like, so did say something like that on Twitter.
I actually agree with that. Like, not because I care about the queen, but like, if we're still under their ruling, then you understand. Give it a holiday, man. Make we just have a nice time. But anyway, back to what Witty was saying.
Hey
Yeah.
guys, can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Moon. You up and running again?
Alright. Alright, sorry if I drop off, I have some internet problem. But there's something I did want to say. We're on the reach exactly right now though.
Oh, they go off on a tangent, so you can just say what you say.
Oh, so what I say was in regards to the people who work, like who can't get jobs and all them thing there. When you look on like the most or the poorest places in Jamaica, it's not the places where you see all of the big and major crime. Most of the poorest places in Jamaica tend to have relatively low crime as opposed to like the inner city them, which yes, the people them poor, but them not like dirt poor. Them one of people where can't find food, can't get access to water and basic necessities. Usually when people are commit crime in Jamaica, yeah, look upon like what the new one, chop the line, scam, fuck you like that. People are scam so them can run and talk
Chop
about, yeah
the
man, me scam now, me can feed my picnic. No, them scam so them can make a lot of money real fast, which you can do when you scam people in America, cause the conversion rate on the money really high, so you get enough money when you just get like one scam and you might get like $1,000, you get like $1,000 a day maybe. That enough money, then you flaunt all the money, then you get catch. That's the
line.
issue when it comes to crime. And that's why I'm gonna feel like say you have a bunch of people who do crime because them so poor and them not another option. I be a fuckery. If you want a job, most likely you can get a job. You have people who are poorer than you who can get a job. It's not a good job, and them people them would actually look for help. But me not really cater for the idiot when I run up and talk about, oh, yo, me have to turn to crime
Yeah.
because I can't get a job. I think that's a fuckery. That's it.
But I
um,
think you're not
Um.
considering all the factors because,
mm,
all right, we have to go really way back. Come remember, when you go to therapy, first thing them ask you what happened in your childhood, right? So we have to start at the root, right? So you have to understand a lot of these people that are scamming, creating, doing crimes. Most of them don't have an education, which you need to get a job. regardless of what it is. Even if a call center you need English and maths or something, right, in your subject. So I think we have to start there. So again, it's not an excuse, but it does begs the question, like, what is going on there? Is our education system failing us? Are there's so many other factors that affect
Mm,
the job situation in Jamaica? I just feel like it's not that black and white, to be honest. I just feel like on all of them I get up and I say, oh, I'm a scam. You know? I
I
just
mean,
feel like a lot they might be thinking, why me I go get up and go look a job where me not get paid that much, me still have to go better when me can just scam the money and get a quick money. And it's wrong, but you have to like look at that and say, maybe if we paid better, maybe if we had better jobs or more jobs, then we could lower these crime rates.
Mhm.
you.
I honestly
But
don't think that would have worked. Like Jamaica is not that poor of a country. As much as people like to pretend, Jamaica is actually a pretty well-off country. The crime rate seems to be a separate issue entirely. Like you have other Caribbean countries where we are poorer than Jamaica, but them crime rate don't nearly as high. I think this come down to culture, and when you come down to that,
Facts.
now you have to think about personal responsibility. I know in a therapy, them love to talk about, oh, your childhood this and your childhood that. But at a certain point, you have to stop and accept, say, yo, you have a personal
Ayo,
responsibility to how you turn out.
ayo,
I'm
maga
gonna really
video for
cater to when
Pazin.
people talk about, oh, yo, me I did
I
pick
mean,
me
Ayo,
and my
Moon.
I
mother did beat me 2 times, so now me have to rob people. No, it don't work
No,
like
but
that.
Ayo,
you have to
Moon.
pay
Ayo,
though,
Moon.
because
Let me
like
Wait,
I
hold
interject.
said,
Let
on.
me
it's not an
interject. Let me
excuse,
interject
but
there.
it is a reason. It
Yeah, hold
is.
on. Make Mikey playing video first. Yeah, one Mikey play that video. Yeah. All
You
right,
know, a
cool.
couple pockets I get picking at that, you know.
Short and spicy, but you get the gist of the vid. The whole job situation here is actually pretty bad. But the crime culture thing is actually a very good
I mean,
point.
scamming culture different from crime culture in a very broad sense, to be honest.
He still
True.
crime.
Because
I
I
feel
will
like the two of
agree
them
with
go hand in hand.
I'll agree with what Moon said in that scamming 9 times out of 10 when a man say, oh, mega scam, it's generally because him just want to get rich quick, to be
Yeah.
honest. You
True.
don't want to have to sit in a job for a couple of months to make the same money you can make when you chop one man. But
Yo,
I
but
also disagree with the point that, oh, a lot of people are just lazy because one, you can't really do a lot of jobs without some basic level of education. And again, I agree that education system fuck up, but also um there is like there are jobs, but like do you like I feel
Wait, that you
like
mind if I
Also,
cut
I just want to add one thing, Moons. You said a lot of them are lazy, right? But you can't be lazy to be a scammer. You can't. You still have to work because a lot of people
true,
are
true.
not the
catching
we.
on. So you still have to work, you still have to convince them, you have to pass them on to a quote manager. It's a whole system, guys. It's not just somebody up on the phone and say, oh, you won the lottery. No, they have a whole system behind this thing. So there's still work in that. It just shows that people will work if it has value, if they're going to see the compensation for that work.
Also, this is just a very general point, but you guys know that, like, the whole wholesale culture, you can buy like half a bread, one squeeze of toothpaste, blah blah, ray, whatever. Like, you can buy very small portions of things. And I know that that started because people couldn't afford a full loaf of bread, right? And like a full tube of
Oh,
toothpaste.
yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man.
Yes, I think that is also a very big example of the fact that even if you are working or whatever money you are getting, clearly it still wasn't enough. Because the fact that people have to buy quarter loaf of bread is ridiculous.
Yo, man, I always hear people talk about this whole like this call center thing, like a bill house with call center money. But me gonna be honest with you, all no dog. Unless they on a sales account in there, you not really make much money.
You, this nigga spitting, bro.
Ah,
I
that's a
started out
fact. Like,
customer
I see
service and I
people
wasn't making
glorify it, bro.
shit until I started doing sales. That's facts.
I see
What's the
people
difference?
glorify. Well, all right. With sales, you earn a commission, zine. But
Yep.
you see, when you just had plain customer service, bro, and you know, I
I
mean,
just
no
base
incentives
pay.
all the time. I just base pay.
Yep. So with each sale you get, probably you get like
Oh,
just a small percentage more on your pay.
yeah.
Bro,
But
on the
but they
base
have
pay
all
there.
these systems that like
Mm.
mess up the pay. It's like them still a try get money from. It's like them don't want pay you. It's so frustrating. All right, so at my previous job, my last call center job, they had these systems where customers would rate your customer service, and it
Mm.
was still a sale. But if you get a 3 star, say for example you have to be at like a 90% to get all of your commission. If it goes down to like a 80%, 70%, 50%, your money goes down with it, and it's not just a little pian $200, is a lot of your money. So while you could be collecting like $80,000 for that fortnight, you're just collecting your base pay and probably like 5 grand more on it. Big, all because of some ratings that you couldn't control. Even if you did the best, people will just rate you whatever them feel like for rate you. So there are these systems that's just ridiculous. And even in sales too, you know, must get the sales. It must be something wrong with you or how you're communicating with the customer. Probably
Mm-hmm.
them just don't want friggin' buy what you sell. So like it's still hard. It's a lot of work. They expect you to come in early to catch the good queue, whatever the hell that means. Sometime my previous manager even confessed that she says like she'll tell us like, oh, I'm shuffling the queue, so the persons that you're gonna call are different from yesterday or whatever the case is.
Whew.
She said that's just cap. Like I'm just saying that to like motivate you guys, and I'm just like, damn, like when it just are playing our face at this point.
Not the plane our face.
Okay,
Also,
so
hold
go
on.
on too far.
Wait, last thing. I have two-ish things. So one of the first jobs I've done was with an accountant. Bear in mind, I was getting a decent amount of money for the work that I was doing because really and truly, like for where I am in life, that was still a good amount of money. But I was doing payroll and it's ridiculous to me how they got paid every, I think, week. How the hell are you a grown adult? How can you be paying a grown adult like 10 grand for the week? Like, what the fuck is somebody doing with 40 grand for the month as an adult with children and responsibilities? That is ridiculous. And on top of that, I think taxes are also a thing in terms of the difference between the states and here because yeah, oh, obviously them probably still take tax in the states, but you get tax returns. You don't exactly get that in Jamaica in
Yeah,
the
that
same.
is so crazy. Yeah, we don't have
Facts.
Yeah,
tax returns here. That is one of the
Also, there
biggest
are
things.
so many different like organizations and stuff that like help
NHT.
people out. Like you can literally where I am in Canada, I don't know if it's the same for US. I've never been to the US, but you can go to like food banks and you can get food and you save money on groceries for that week or whatever the case is because you get free food. Like there are so many organizations that help people out, like for the homeless, different things. Like what the funds them a go for Jamaica? Why we not have certain things like that in place?
They're going at the politician in pocket.
Charger.
That's crazy. All right. So speaking on that now, then I want to kind of shift the conversation. So let's say the reason why such man made the tweet is because he doesn't actually understand how the work life is on the lower and the lower class level. Let's put it at that.
The
So
man never have to work hard at the end of life.
yeah, exactly,
Well,
exactly,
yeah, well
exactly.
then shut
Uh,
up.
Let's put
what
it.
It's
was
that
the
Let's put
simple,
tweet
it.
you know.
exactly?
All right, let me read the tweet again because I think some people did join late as well. So the tweet is: if Jamaicans worked as hard as they do when they go overseas while they were in Jamaica, they would need to go overseas.
And
So
why exactly are the issue with what him say?
the
Yeah,
He's
issue,
they can be
out of
serious.
touch.
hello.
He's absolutely out of touch. Okay, so this is very personal to me because I consider myself extremely privileged because I grew up in St. Thomas and majority of St. Thomas is poor. But I grew up in a two-parent household, which in itself is a privilege in Jamaica to have two parents present. Middle class, never dead for hungry yet in my life. Very grateful for that privilege, right? So when my friend them, when we go see for at high school, which are up in the hills, up in the country, when them are saying that yo, I'm hungry and me just shut up, because what me I gotta tell them, oh,
Fact.
work hard. You shut your mouth, because
Fact.
even though you can have compassion for them, you could never possibly understand what they're going through. You don't say to them, oh, work harder. You don't know what their life is like. Even though if it might
Fact.
seem that way to you, shut your mouth. It's that simple.
Not even that, to be honest. It's like you can still be in a very privileged position. Because again, similar to you, I feel like, not even feel like, it's obvious, like I'm relatively privileged because I mean, I haven't said the details of like what I made when I had that job, but I was literally working, I think 2 days a week, and I was making more money than people that were doing days work for the whole day, every week, overtime, all of that. Which obviously it's very pretty, but you don't even have to necessarily be even if you acknowledge like, oh, you're privileged, it's not even about shutting up. It's like legitimately look and you will realize like that what he said doesn't add up. It though the maths is not mathsing.
I don't think it add up too, but I'm not sure for the same reason why you guys don't think it add up. I don't think it add up because, simply put, the people where I work overseas just aren't the same people where I go be in a Jamaica. The type of person where I go work hard when them go overseas, I see in person where they are work hard in a Jamaica. The type of people where don't work hard in a Jamaica are the type of people where don't go overseas.
Mm.
It's simple as that.
No, no, that's not the case. Cause when I'm in Jamaica, I work with a meds. I'm doing as much relative to my pay. When I
Exactly.
went abroad, get I would
Real.
I would get whipped and then say to myself, I need this money. I need this money. Then I go back.
I understand what
I
Moons
need to
is saying
accelerate this
though.
so that I can make this large amount of money.
So, for what you say exactly, you say you did work in a Jamaica,
Yeah.
and what exactly did I do where they make you make less money with your work?
What was I doing in Jamaica?
Yeah.
I've worked in public offices, but I did like filing and such and such and such.
All right.
And
And you
internships.
did do your job.
Yeah, I did my job.
So me not understand where you try. So
No,
you
but
did do the work.
productivity. Because when I went to the US and I was being a slave, I was told that I was one of the best slaves. Versus when I was in Jamaica and working, there were times that where I'm working and people had to call me and tell me that I'm not doing, because I never did it with the same attitude,
Yeah, it's like
because
you're not being.
it just never worked it. I never really
Yeah.
business.
But
No,
even if you are doing the same attitude, like I said, for example, I guess this might only apply for call centers, but you can go all out trying to get sales, trying your best. People just don't want to take it. You have some situations you have no control over your what to say, the outcome of your work, of how much work you're putting in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
Buffalo.
there like moons did kind of make sense because it's also like when people leave to go work, quote unquote, work harder in the States, we don't get left with a lot of things or a lot of people that necessarily want to work hard. So when he says, like, oh, the same people that were working hard in Jamaica leave and work hard in the States, true. The problem is now we tend to get left with the people that weren't working.
Wait, so that again, my brain was just like
yeah,
beep boop. Like,
me did get it until the last part.
As in, no, Moons did say, oh, the same people that work hard in Jamaica are the ones that will leave and go work hard in the States too. Fine,
mhm.
cool, yeah. The problem with that is it's the same quote unquote brain drain argument because when them take all of our quote unquote hard workers, we just get left with the rest of the people them that never did our work or the people that, for example, want to turn to crime or find easy money or whatever.
Oh,
Oh
I
yes,
see what you're
but
saying.
that's why I said the man him when I say stupid, but not stupid for the reason what only really they are bring up. It's stupid because him basically I equate the people where go to America and I work hard to the people them when now work hard in Jamaica, when it's basically two different groups of people we might talk about right now.
So okay, so can't I still be a hard worker in Jamaica and regardless of if me go America or not?
You can,
I
However,
mean,
There's no
no,
how you can, like, me not understand. You can.
so like, what's your point?
And
Like, you said the people who are working hard in Jamaica are gonna be the ones working hard in America.
yep,
Aren't
so
people
if
working
it was
hard
a case where
regardless?
you were supposed to go to America by some magic, maybe a teleport go, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
go work hard in America too. Like that's the idea. The people them where they are work hard in Jamaica, when them go to America, them work hard. Some
but
of
I
them
think the
don't
So
go
you
point.
don't. So
America,
you
but
don't
them still
think.
work hard.
Okay, so you don't think somebody lazy in Jamaica will can get an opportunity to go America and work hard and be successful
M-
simply
my
because they
highly
are
doubt,
seeing the fruits of their labor?
No, no,
highly doubt that.
no.
No,
Moment
my
why I
highly doubt that.
Nah,
disagree
you
is
I
because
don't
capital.
think people. No, I don't think people are just be like, oh, my God, America, and now me decide so me I go work hard. What them I gonna do different? Them already set up them lifestyle to what them supposed to do, which is probably not work, probably do one job where don't worth anything, and that would have basically be it. Them would have the
no, but
same work
Moons.
ethic what them be having in Jamaica and America. Especially since another thing, if you are living in America, unlike when you go up and work and travel, the real reason why it's so big is because you now bring the money back home and use it. So now transfer it over to JMD. If you're there in America and you work, you basically use the American money in America, which with a higher cost of living, it basically equates to absolutely no difference in how your lifestyle and
Oh,
That's
stuff
a
go.
lie.
I would
That's
no,
not
I would
true.
not put that. That
That
is
is
a
Well,
lie.
all
not
right.
true.
We can give some leeway. Yeah, you probably have more access to food, but that's just because America one first world
You have
nation.
more access to
But
food.
in
You have
general,
better
when you
situation
talk
with
about
regards
things
to
like
transport.
rent, transportation, all of them bullshit there
No, bro,
is pretty much
transportation
the
is way
same
more
rates.
affordable as well. What do you mean,
Facts. It's
Where in
literally
America
two
did you go
dollars for a
exactly?
bus.
bro? You can literally go on the bus for $1, or like a lot of the buses are
Facts.
I
free.
went
You
What?
on the
can take
bus
the
for free.
yeah, you can go on the train for free.
Where in
Free?
America? Where in America wanna go? Where in America wanna go?
Let's call it so we're there in a Maryland, right? The bus system, it's like
Hypothetically speaking.
yeah, hypothetically speaking, we're talking about Maryland. The bus systems are relatively free or just like dirt cheap.
Yeah,
Like even if it,
hypothetically,
Ha,
hypothetically, let's say I would go into the bus. The driver I would just wouldn't give him the money, and I just go and sit
Facts.
down.
No,
Hypothetically,
like
of
that's
course.
not even a joke. Like I live in Canada, and so you can just say, "Yo, I don't have nothing today," or "This is what I have," and the bus fare is like $2.25. Give that, throw $25 in
all
there, and
right.
that man's like, "Okay, whatever."
Me step back from that specific part there where it's basically no difference. All right, you will have a degree of difference because it's a first world nation. Them have better infrastructure. Them have more social nets for people. There's a bunch of things we are gonna assist in a daily life. But in terms of you actually spend the money in America, it I go basically equal out to you spend money in a Jamaica same way.
stop chat rubbish.
Disagree
Kinda,
still.
kinda,
That
Disagree
bullshit.
Stop
still.
kinda.
chat rubbish.
Absolutely
It's not
not.
a
I
you
have
Because
a
know want to
question.
man.
no,
It better
because
in
no, I know
America.
that the money that you can.
Hold on. Let me ask some. No, more put moons on the spot right now. Moons.
Sure.
My cousins in. That man used to work hard when him did Jamaica. Zin. And said this brother went abroad. Within just a few months, man was able to buy him first car.
Exactly.
What would it take him? Probably 2-3 years to get the
Couple
type
years,
of
well,
car where him they want out here. So some don't want to hear no bullshit, dog. But don't
Yeah,
worry.
You
like
All
two
right,
very
but
legitimate and
you
lit.
see, this
Hold
are the
on.
front.
but
But
I have a
getting a
question.
car in America is a different challenge than getting one in a Jamaica. It way different. First off,
Absolute.
if you're
First,
working in
bro.
America, one car is almost one essential need, depending on where you live. Like, is one case where, and plus, them always a shipping car. Them always have a bunch of cars that them can sell. It
Okay.
way easier to just get cars in
Wait, what?
America.
Hold on. Hold
So
on.
it
Two things.
isn't,
Hold on.
bro.
Since we're going back to rent and housing, a house in America costs completely like it's not even that the money that you are making, you are getting, for example, at best, you can probably leave university and get, $180,000 a month. The cost of a house in Jamaica at like a decent enough house, you're not getting anything for less than like $12 million. So do the maths and try to find out how long it's gonna take you to save to pay for that house. On top of the fact that you're probably having to spend money to pay for whatever else expenses. Versus in the States, you can get a house for like a decent place. The amount of money you're making monthly in the States to buy a house, it takes you half the time, which is the same thing with the car argument. It's not that a car is an essential need in the States. Okay, you can take bus, it's fine. Like you can take
And
public
No,
transport,
but
you
train
can take
and
bus, you can call a
taxi.
Uber. But it's the
Yeah.
amount of the length of time it takes you to save is ridiculous. People have migrated in at like 17, by 19 them have a house. When do you think we in our lifetime are going to be able to afford a house in Jamaica? That's number one. Number two, have you ever left Jamaica to go to the States for like the summer, for example, and like let's say you change out, oh, like back when exchange rate was all $100. Let's say you change out like $100,000, so you have $1,000 US to spend. Do you know how much shit that can buy you and how much clothes that can buy you when compared to down here?
Wait,
It's
hang on.
real,
completely
So the last
different.
part there again.
Like like remember when like some people probably used to travel for the summer outside of like work and travel. So like back when exchange rate was like $100, you can change out $100,000 Jamaican and get $1,000 US. And do you
back
know how
then.
much things that can buy you? You can put on 3 bills for your groceries and that can feed you for the entire summer. You can spend half of that on clothes. You can spend the rest of that on fuckery. And it's completely different than down here.
You know what? You know what? I'm not lie. You actually convinced me because I think yeah. You know what? I admit it. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. Yeah, it completely different. No,
Be a
like she
shitty
actually
in here.
convinced me. I'm wrong for real because so where me really there trying to get to was that how you gonna use your money would have be essentially the same, but where me wrong is, for instance, if you spend $300 in Jamaica for buy groceries, or the equivalent of $300 in a Jamaica from US is what, 30,000? No,
30
30?
grand.
30 grand, probably
Call it.
35. You couldn't stock up your entire house with groceries in a Jamaica if you buy with the 30 grand, but you can do that in America. So if we are going to talk about essential needs like food, then it completely different. You're right. America would have just be way better, but
Also coupons, by the way.
Yeah,
coupon, yeah,
coupon,
you know
food
what,
stamp, all
Magnity,
that.
you know, right? The social nets, all of them issues there, all them things there, you know, right? It would have completely different in America.
Real it to me.
Me can't defend that no more. No,
You know.
Real it to me.
it's a first world nation. They're much richer. Me can't defend it.
Yeah, it-
Yes,
Everything easier to do.
you keep stressing that it's a first world country. Like, no, this probably is a dumb question. Never mind.
What are the question? What are the question?
No, like how far away are we from being that as
Far,
Jamaica?
Never,
far,
never,
far,
never,
far,
never.
far,
Within a
far
depth,
away.
Jamaica
we
is
can't have a
considered
paper.
a third world country, but they don't like to use the word third world anymore. So they say we are a developing
Uh,
country. But the way we're developing, I better we never develop at all.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
All right.
Honestly,
Yo,
if
we're in
Jamaica did
such
want
a
to become
huge
a
depth.
first world nation, the first thing they would have to tackle is they would have to find a final solution to the crime question, is what me believe. So,
Disagree.
do you
I
disagree?
disagree. I disagree.
There's
You
always
really don't
going to
think
be
crime will
crime. There's
walk out
no
Jamaica,
way
man?
to get rid of crime.
it can
We not get rid of
definitely
it
be
completely,
lessened.
but we need to get it down to
Nah, it can
maybe other
definitely be
Caribbean
lessened.
countries
You
like
Yep.
wanna know
Jamaica.
how it can be lessened?
Jamaica is a very unique country when it comes to how high them crime rate is. It's actually insane. We not even
Yo,
have
just
that much
call back
people here.
Adams, isn't it?
Thank you.
Honestly,
Just put on the foot up, you know.
if we're talking about the
Call
actual
back the man.
crime problem, I think honestly, this is my personal thing. I think the best way to actually deal with it is for Jamaica to have mandatory military service. Just like
Agree.
Anywho.
No, no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no,
Like,
no, no. Honestly,
100.
honestly.
Yeah, listen. In what personally, this is something with me. The thing I think it should be mandatory 2 years. If you, unless you can prove say yeah do something with your life at the moment, like yeah start one college for one useful degree, highlight
Okay,
useful
okay.
degree. Unless they can prove something, say yeah do something right now. If we're worth it, then then you
Yeah.
can be exempt from it. But if you not do nothing, 2 years of mandatory service, you learn discipline, them feed you. If you are complain, say hungry enough for complain, you know,
Yeah. Real.
Yes, a
everything,
month.
them train you up, yeah, and you know what, if nothing, we can start one military and invade our country and teach for them
Wait,
resources.
what?
What?
Okay.
No, wait, what?
Alright, you lose me. You lose me the last part, man.
No, but seriously, it's actually good. I think about it. You have all of them people here, them learn food, them learn discipline, them learn how to interact with each other better. Them most likely now go just turn to crime after them leave. Them probably can get one job easier. It make more sense
Yeah.
for people to have mandatory military, police, not necessarily police, but mandatory training where them basically I get paid for do too.
But the policeman themselves not even have that kind of training and discipline. That's why you have so much corruption to begin with. Like you think niggas are scared of jail, my nigga? Like, bro, niggas in jail still running the block like it's a business.
I mean, yeah, but the point overall is, mandatory military service will make a difference in regards to the bigger picture, as in, the crime situation, even the poverty situation. I think that would probably help the poverty situation even more because after the mandatory service, you can choose whether or not you want to stay. Like the main country you look at as a comparison is I think South Korea. So South or North Korea, one of them. But they
It's
have mandatory
so
military
No,
service.
the thing we have
That's
to
a
remember
high
is
bar though.
if you are gonna
It
have them
is.
do mandatory military service, you are gonna have to have them do something with it. Like you can't just have everybody do the mandatory military service and then them not do nothing
Them
with
back
it.
in the
Like
streets, yeah.
yeah,
No,
like
but
then
that's the
after the
point.
military service, then you just send them back. Which is why I say you need to find something for them to do. Personally, you can use them for contact the crime problem. That I would have in mind. But you never know.
Facts.
Yeah, but either way, I personally think 2 years of mandatory military training that would actually kind of curve your mind as to going back to that type of lifestyle, if you understand what I mean. Because 2 years is a lot of time.
I think something else too is if like we instead of buying like signs for tourists to come and take pictures for Instagram, um we could invest in our communities. I think if like especially these young youths, if them have something to do with them time, them
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have pre
Real.
for a lot of them don't I have to think like a lot of them don't have like even father figures and the man them when them grow up around the man them are pre all type of evilness. So if you're growing at that kind of situation, you go just follow suit because that's all you know, right? So give them more things to do, like play some ball, put some different things in the community. I don't know what yet, but like I
grow
don't
some
know,
weed.
build up the communities.
Grow some
Them
weed.
we have
Also, side note, back to the crime thing though. Bumbo club, they go say. Bumbo
Brother,
club.
we should have
just
did a
fly out of your
export
head.
weed in a dog. We should have did a
Who's
export weed in a brother.
That too,
Oh,
instead of
wait, the
penalizing people for
shit,
smoking.
the military thing. Um, for crime, I think a big part of our crime thing is our Jamaicans have a mental problem. Like we don't have any conflict resolution skills, and we don't have any
Sorry,
like
that never did to be funny,
but
but
it was.
true.
But Jamaican people don't have any conflict resolution skills and them don't have no patience. So like my thing is, even if you put them in the military, them are gonna come out and them still are gonna visit out and kill everybody. Because you just
Yeah,
can't resolve conflicts normally.
I
No,
mean
but the
the anger
military
is so
situation will
deep
help resolve
rooted.
that. As in, like,
No, because a lot of I can tell you from experience that when some men like yeah, go in the military and you're gonna say, okay, fine, because I have to do this to come out, but you're still gonna come out fuck up
Yeah,
anyway. All the
true.
military does or the police does is give Uno not Uno, but give some of them man here a god complex and say, oh, they are bigger than you or whatever, or them in a police or military, so them can do whatever. And then still I go visit out with whoever anyway. And it's gonna make it worse because them are gonna say, oh, me come out of military, you never do that. So you have to listen to what I say.
no, but if
A
it's
lot of the
mandatory, then everybody
training,
does it.
yeah, but a
No,
lot of
because
the
remember,
training
Temuni said
is,
someone we still go to college and someone we go in at the military.
isn't it just
Uh,
like teaching submission, which would then develop discipline? Like, isn't it just, oh, give me a
Yes,
hundred
it
push-up
teaches you to
maggots?
submit. The problem is when you come out of the military, you're going to
Not
expect other people to
what
submit in the
all
same
right,
way.
so
My point is that's not teaching conflict resolution, that's
Yeah,
just
but that I think
teaching
Yeah,
the
that's
thing
what I
about
behavior
the
was
change.
conflict
saying.
resolution,
It's a
when you do
mental
things
thing.
like military and police training, it's not just going, yo, do 100 push-ups, yo, run round the lap. Yes, you do a lot of that because you have to keep up your physical fitness. But a lot of it is just like, yo, how you gonna interact with people, how you have to talk with people, how you gonna try to talk people
To be
down,
honest,
how you
I
gonna do
think
all of them something here. It's more, it's a lot of people skills with them try to teach you because essentially you gotta deal with
uh
the people. Now Jamaican police,
Ideally.
me tell you, them tend to be a bit more harsh with the people, but that's
they
just because
are.
people respect harshness. Like we admit it or not, Jamaican people respect harshness. When I say respect it, only listen when somebody talk to you rough. That's just how it go. Like that's why them teach you people to like. Cause if one police follow them, is like, hi, I saw that you like ran the red light. Yeah, tell you, talk your mother where I'm driveway. Anybody not gonna deal with him if you come and play like that?
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Anyways, we've reached the
But
hour
I think
mark,
these
so
things should be okay.
no
One
man
more point,
testicles, we're
but if
done.
these things were like taught in school first, then it would make a difference. So you think
Real.
instead of
May I
waiting
agree?
till people are big man, then you just draft them.
Yeah, may I agree. It should be taught in schools as well. Schools to teach
Yeah,
more than
man.
just maths and English, which them don't
Start at
teach
the
well.
root.
Ouch.
Okay,
Facts
and
though.
with
Very
that,
much
we
true.
are going to put at the podcast to end. So we'll just do our final takes as per usual, and then we will come to a close. So I'll start with Mikey. Mikey, what's your final take from this episode?
What's my final take?
Yeah.
Oh, migrate, isn't me? Do whatever you
Facts.
gotta do to get the green card and cut.
Real.
All right,
True.
fair enough. I mean, like honestly, with the whole brain drain thing, I can't blame anybody because it's just reality. So yeah, all right, cool. Farid, what's your final take?
People deserve to be paid a livable wage.
Define livable.
Yo, Moons, please.
Please, we're not going back there.
Right. Testicles, what's your final take?
Come back to me. Come back to me.
General youth.
My
0
brain
and
like
14.
jumbled up right now.
Um, I think a lot of Jamaica's crime problem has something to do with the culture.
Bomba. So the final take can't come from the original tweet.
Oh,
Like the
sorry,
yeah.
I think the guy that made the tweet is retarded.
Well, fair enough. Okay, Chap. El Chap. What's your
The
final
man
take?
gone.
Jamaica, yo, Jamaica can't fix that. Just go. I wanna come back.
Bro.
Mm,
Moons, what your final take from this?
My final take is this has been an entertaining bout, but I'm kind of disappointed. Think we gotta talk about sex or something, you know, like
God damn
we
it.
kind of go
next
Anyway,
out
week,
of
next week,
kind of
next
go out of
week.
my way, you know.
Anyways,
my final
testicles,
take
back to you.
is
Yeah.
yeah. Start. Let's start at the root. I think we can try starting over. You know. Let's start over.
Also,
Andrew, can
wipe
you
the
see?
island clean, blow it off of the map.
Yeah. Kill off everybody except the
Hey,
children.
yo.
Yeah.
No, fuck the children. Them can get it too.
Then how would we come back? But anyways, still.
We need to
Um,
listen. I actually kind of agree with that. We need a ethnic cleansing. You see, I feel like
Yo, I will stop it
Actually,
right there.
Jamaica
So
filled
guys,
with too
thank
many
you for
people
tuning
but
in.
don't quite match,
Hold on,
you
there. What
know.
a mute button there.
Them
Hold on.
Yo,
Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Jano Podcast Season 2. Please tune in this and every Sunday night at 9. Thank you. I am Witty, and that is all. Good
hold
night.
on, hold on, hold on. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. With Twitter they get hacked, so you see me. I can report that
Yeah,
page. You see me.
but like, share, and subscribe the YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel. You see me. We're trying to reach 1,000 subs by next year, so we can get some money off of this. You see me. Real.
Real.